And we're back on the Mana Symbol channel with a favorite of one of our longtime most favorite chat members. We have Roy K. Kibitzblatt, my wonderful friend, who's a huge fan of the Infect archetype. All different color combinations, blue-green for competitive play, green-black for spicy meta attack, and very infrequently Bant, or in this case, Sultai. So one incredible human being in the Insight Esports event took this to 11th or 10th place with a little build of Sultai Infect that I refer to as Oops All Hierarchs. And that's because we're playing the full boat of Noble Hierarchs, as the deck often did before, and 4 of newcomer Ignoble Hierarch. So this is a Goblin Shaman, has the same exalted text, and you can tap it to add black, red, or green, the Jund colors. So propping up this, we have a usual semi-established suite of 20 pump spells, many of which will give your creature some variety of hexproof. We've got Scale Up, of course, as the way to get quick kills by giving your creature +6/+4. We've also got Mutagenic Growth. This is a Phyrexian spell that most people know quite well right now because of its use in prowess decks. So for the cost of 2 life, we can give our creature +2/+2, which in Infect terms is equivalent to like 4 damage. And we've got 4 of Inkmoth Nexus. We've got the usual 1 of Pendelhaven, 1 Nurturing Peatland in here, 1 Waterlogged Grove. But for our Infect creatures, we have a slightly different suite than usual. We're playing the 4 Blighted Agent, but we're playing 4 Plague Stingers. So this is a 1 and a black for a flying 1/1 Infect, Phyrexian Insect Horror. And we also have Phyrexian Crusader. This may be an incredible meta call. For 1 generic black, you get a first strike pro-red, pro-white creature. We'll track it as we go, but pro-red and pro-white are pretty big deals right now. So we'll see how this lines up against the meta, but against a lot of decks, it's going to be A++. Then in the sideboard, we've got some spicy choices here. Gemrazor is a very interesting one. It has the mutate ability for 1 green. This creature is a reach trample 4/4, but if you mutate it onto a creature, and then, of course, if you mutate more creatures onto this, you get to destroy target artifact or enchantment an opponent controls, which in addition to being a good sort of hate piece, is also essentially going to be a +3/+3 for most of our Infect creatures, +2/+2 for Phyrexian Crusader. But it will give it reach and trample, which is a big deal here. We've got 1 of main deck Rancor, but Gemrazor almost could eventually end up being a main deck inclusion in this meta. We'll see. And on Inkmoth Nexus, it gets a little bit complicated because if you leave the land on top, or even if you don't, things get weird. We'll see if Magic Online can handle that if it has to come up. Yeah. Me too, Roy. We've got the usual go-to of Spellskite in the sideboard. We got some Thoughtseizes, Spell Pierces, Veil of Summer, Assassin's Trophy, and of course that card, Dryad Arbor. In theory, this is to help us against Edict effects. The weird thing is, like, we're playing 8 Hierarchs, which, you know, are usually kind of chaff creatures in the mid-game. It's not that you want to sacrifice them necessarily. It's like they're extra creatures that buffer you for having to be sacrificed, but maybe they'll go like removal spell into Edict and then we'll be able to fetch out the Dryad Arbor. I just don't even know what edicts like we would actually be afraid of right now. Certainly there are, you know, still psychos around running around playing Liliana the Veil, but we'll see. That card, that command. And instead of my wonderful co-host that I just had on Mordekaiser, we have our wonderful soundboard. That's right, Soundy. That's right.
Who goes out on Mondays?
I don't know, Soundy. I don't know. Me, I guess. Played against a lot of Cascade today in leagues. The Warp World one, or Rhinos, or both. So I definitely played against the Warp World deck today, and that That deck is BS. Freaking glimpse nonsense. Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those like classic, like completely linear combo decks that has no interaction. So I think this is an auto mulligan. We don't have a hierarch. We have too many lands. We've got double scale up, which is no good here. Probably going to 5. Lurrus deck is going to be a problem, though. They're just like infinite attrition. But this has no threat, no hierarch, no nothing. I mean, that's just a non-starter. There we go. So that's probably the best hand we've had so far. The protection spells are obviously lacking, but I think this is a must keep, unfortunately. So I'm definitely shipping one of these lands and maybe the Rancor. Maybe the Mutagenic Growth. I put back a Misty. Yeah, I did. But I think I'm putting back Mutagenic Growth. It doesn't really. I don't predict this being able to protect my creatures against a black deck. This could be Hammer Time, in which case, as much damage as possible is good. But like Rancor, Noble Hierarch, and the yeah, okay. I called it the way Roy would want. So could be Hammer Time. No, black red. Okay, this is gonna be a nightmare. Yep, this is a nightmare. I mean, you know, that part of the reason this deck gets to be really good in the meta right now, and black discard decks do in general, is there's a lot of decks around that have to mulligan. You know, that's just the game we play. We do have Veil of Summers coming in the sideboard, so hopefully we get to make some use of that. Yeah, exactly. It's pretty straightforward. Like, we just play our stuff and see what works out. The really crappy thing is like 1 toughness creatures plus Mutagenic Growth doesn't dodge lightning bolts. That's annoying. And like, I think that I don't play the Plague Stinger this turn. Maybe I will now because I have the backup creature. I definitely will just go ahead and shock for Breeding Pool. We're not winning a long game, so let's go ahead and sacrifice the Plague Stinger on the altar of the removal gods. I guess if they have Unholy Heat with no kicker, yeah, I could protect it. It's almost worth doing, but if we draw a Shroud spell next turn, well, no, I don't have the mana. I don't know. If we draw a Shroud spell and their next piece of removal is the same thing, yeah. We're just way too low resource with the way this game's worked out so far. I don't really have a chance here. Yeah. Like we just realistically, Roy, we just don't have a chance here. I mean, that's yeah, it's over. This deck is already obscene, and like there's just no way. Yeah, there's just no way. I mean, this deck is like even worse of a matchup for us than I think something like Prowess would be with all the Lava Darts. Although we get to bring in Veil Summer, maybe not. Okay, I think I want these 6 cards. I don't really need any of these. Crusader's great. Probably can cut some hierarchs just because they're very, very likely to die immediately. Obviously, they're still. I mean, the nice thing about hierarchs is it stops our opponent from wanting in Skite and Veil. Don't cut Hierarch. Yeah, okay. Mutagenic Growth is probably the card that can go. Yeah. Well, it's not even just that it's like a bad pump spell, but it also doesn't really protect your creatures from Lightning Bolt. We probably don't need Rancor, right? Like the one of Rancor. Maybe Spell Pierce is not as good as I think it is. Multiple. Oh, okay, yeah, you're right. Okay, so Spell Pierce is probably better than Scale Up. We just go like this. And hopefully draw better. With how evasive our creatures are, though, I don't know, Mir. I mean, this deck managed to do very, very well in a challenge that would have been, or in a 5K event that would have had a good representation of Black Red Luris. So, like, I just don't know. I mean, it could be. I'm not saying it is or isn't. I don't know. Like, I would have to try it more. So we've got turn 1 Ignoble, but we don't have blue mana, and we've got double Ignoble, but just like no blue mana at all. It's kind of awkward. I mean, we're safe from turn 1 discard, but like I literally can't play an Infect threat, so I think I gotta ship it. Keep and Prey on 7? Alright. I mean, it's, yeah, I mean, this matchup is horrible, right? It's like playing most decks against Blue-Red Prowess. It's like, even if you have a good, like, mixture of removal spells, sometimes they have the good mixture of threats and counters, and you just fall apart anyway. I'm kind of hoping to see, like, turn 1 discard spell, and then we just rip a blue source and squish them. Because then we go turn 2 Blighted Agent with Blossoming Defense up, and then roll from there. We'll see. They mulled to 6. Inquisition. All right. This is kind of going the way I want it to. So we just need to rip the blue source here. And we're in business. Takes the Blighted Agent. Oh, right. Of course. Why wouldn't they do that? Well, maybe they'll push one of my creatures. Oh, I could have attacked for 2. Oh, but I don't want to, yeah. I'm assuming that they are assuming that I have Fatal Push or similar. They have a bubble? Oh, they have a land. Don't tap Hierarch. No, I shouldn't have. It's too late now. No, I'm very well aware that I shouldn't worry about it, Roy. I just didn't want to attack with normal damage creatures at all because I hadn't even begun to consider it as a possible avenue for victory in this game, but it definitely is. I mean, obviously they're not hitting themselves particularly hard. They just flip both their... God damn it, that deck is ridiculous. So stupid. Uh-huh. I mean, I think I should attack. You trade a Blossoming Defense for one of their Dragon Rage Chandlers? For sure I should. If they double block, they get crushed. Do it, you coward. You won't. They didn't. This mana problems? Like, as in our mana problems? As in we're not drawing enough mana? Yeah, I can agree with that. But I mean, they have 3 cards in hand. If I peel an Infect threat this turn, I have lethal on deck very quickly. So, like, yeah, this sucks, but it's very close to being okay. Jeez. Okay. Yeah, I got you. I think this means we're dead. And there's no way out. I guess if they play a black removal spell, I blow them out with Veil, draw land, and a scale up. We're almost there. Oh, they're going up. You freaking jerk. God, it's so... I'm so tilted. I mean, this matchup's horrible, but it's like, it's just frustrating to lose these in like such dramatic, abysmal, instantaneous fashion. Every time I play against this spike deck, it's like 0% to win. And it doesn't feel close. It's not like a competition. It's not like we actually play Magic. You just get beaten to hell and you're dead. If they have the land drop, they can Kroxa, which doesn't necessarily kill us, but... Okay, no land drop. Just the bolt. Okay. It's part of why you expect me to hate this deck. It's not this deck, it's that matchup. And I hate that matchup with basically every deck I play. Because it's just crazy. Like, the power of that deck just feels like it's on a completely different level. I think they would too, Mira. I don't think there was any... Jeez. We have 20 lands in this deck. That was... So I'm pretty sure I'm bottoming one of these Plague Stinger. No, Blighted Agent. I don't have blue mana. How do I not have blue mana again? What the hell is happening? My 3-color deck is not doing a good job. Oh, we're against the nonsense BS. All right, we actually could have a really good matchup here. Roy in chat predicting the past. I love it. They have a haste goblin on turn 0. I have a non-haste goblin. Fear me. No. Yep. So they warp world for 6 next turn? Yikes. Oh, are they missing a land? They are missing a land. They're going to suspend? No, they're cracking a clue. Nice. Wow. They kept the Gemstone Chancellor hand, and they just hope to draw out. And they have not. Bro, red! It's so good! Get in there, baby. What? Chase was streaming? With better numbers than me? That's not surprising.
You can run, but you can't glide.
Hi, Chase. How's my favorite streamer? Are you asking the most important question of all?
Who goes out on Mondays?
I bet you are. Thanks for the follow there, Bruno Ramos, NH. From the Republic of Nigeria. That's not a real thing, but I think it's funny. Oh, he's the best. He hit you with that checkmate. We playing chess. Yo, we got a kill. He's the best. He's the best. He's the best. I mean, there could be like Force of Negation here if they're playing some like really nonsense version of this deck, but this looks pretty good. What's the token? It's a those are clues. 6, 7, 8. There are 2. All right. I guess there's like not really a reason that I shouldn't have attacked the Inkmoth, but I didn't. A turn 4 kill in my modern. Opponents attempting to care blockers. Nope. Denied. That's +1 for protection from red. Thank you. +1. Okay, these cards are all excellent. So probably growths out, and I feel like no, I think we just so scale up's definitely good. Infect's fine. I mean, the first matchup was probably the worst matchup in the format, which is Black Red Luris. Even for the best decks, that deck is horrifying. So, you know, it's the fact that we lost that is not a point against this deck. I feel like I want to cut one of the threats. They're super heavy on token permanence. Is Skite? No. Skite is completely irrelevant. The way their deck works, Roy, is it plays Glimpse of Tomorrow, which is like the self warp world, and they rip through their deck over and over and over again, putting in more and more and more permanence. So, yeah, they're a non-interactive spell-based combo deck. They use permanence, but the way they actually win is with spells. The questionable card is Spell Pierce, kind of, because like there are some games where they'll end up having enough mana, but I'm not super worried about it. I think I just want to cut like one Plague Stinger. Yeah, I think that's correct. And thank you for the follow there, Brussels Sprouts. You'd leave Pierce on the board? I don't think I want to do that. I think I want it. Usually they want a glimpse. They want a glimpse as soon as they can. Like they run a... Jeez. This hand is great. In Hearthstone. Wow. Okay. Well. Okay. Wait. So 6, 7, 8. Do I have to keep the second scale up? No. We bought on the second scale up. We hope to draw another pump spell, right? Yeah, I mean, obviously I'm leading on Hierarch. If I was on Uber Food, what would you side against Lanterns? Shenanigans decent. Yeah, Shenanigans is definitely good. You agree with the keep? Okay, good. Because, like, Pendelhaven gives me better return over time than the second scale up does. Yeah. Yeah, if I was on Uber Food against Lantern, you could sideboard Shenanigans. The question is, do you want to sideboard Shenanigans in the meta in general? Because like most of the players I've seen are sideboarding a Braid, and the thing with a Braid is it also functions as a reasonable removal spell. Crusader wouldn't be the best because we can't get to double black right now. Oh, I see, right? I see. I want to fetch Tomb. Yeah, Overgrown Tomb with Misty, because and the reason we're doing that is so that we can have access to black and blue. Which is an interesting facet of this deck. Like if you have Ignoble Hierarch, you want to fetch out Breeding Pool. If you have Noble Hierarch, you want to fetch out the... So are we on a turn 4 kill here? Or am I mana short? So on turn 3, I can attack for 2 with 2 mana up. I mean, I understand, Roy. I get it. Okay, so they're set up to Warp World with no extra permanence in play, so, like... Good luck. Now we have the kill next turn. For Thoughtseize. Hierarch is +1, Inkmoth is 1, Blossoming Defense is 2, Scale Up is 2, and we have exactly enough mana. My thinking is your creature matchup ought to be good by the nature of the deck. So I'd want something that flexible. Yeah, I mean, you would think so, Alias, but a lot of the creature matchups are pretty sloggy. All right, we can't interact with that. Okay, they got the Wave Sister. So they can go for another bigger one. It's just Warp World for you. So they're going to go again. This means they lose their flyer, which is good for us. But they get 1,000,000 cards. They get 6 flips. Oh, Fury. So I lose my lethal off of that. Well, oh, and they're going to go again. Their creature could have blocked, but it's gone now. Yeah, it could have blocked. So they're going to glimpse again? I will, Roy. I just don't have to do it yet. Because if they flip in another Fury, I want to give it protection from both. It's okay. Now they have a flyer again. It's just the way they stack their triggers, Roy. If they flipped a second Fury, and they still might, then I can protect it from both, because they're going to end up stacking both at the same time. Which, like, I don't need to do it this way, but, like, I don't know. Sorry, I didn't go so deep on my feedback, Alias. So, it's just, like, in those super sloggy matchups, like, if you don't have an Asmora into play, or you don't want to put your Asmora into play while they have an Asmora in play, then you're going to want to be able to kill it from your hand, right? Ditto on, you'll want extra removal for monkeys. You want extra removal for Stoneforge Mystics. Like, there's just so many cards in the format, creatures in the format, where it's like, you kind of have to kill on sight. Otherwise, they can start snowballing really badly. And the Shenanigans just doesn't do enough there. Shenanigans can solve a Stoneforge Mystic into Cauldron Complete, but Shenanigans cannot. Okay. So they don't have a flyer now. So if they're done and I hit another +2/+2, yeah, it's just like, it just does a lot, and then, uh-oh. We're not dead, are we? They haven't played a Violent Outburst yet. Well, that's bad. We don't know that they have the ability to do that, Mir. Also, there's not enough haste creatures to kill me. There's only 5 of them. So we're not dead yet. It's very bad. Oh, well, there's that. But again, they're not dead. The Flyer's Wave Sifter. Wave Sifter. It's the new Muldrifter. But he's fancier. Oh, they're going again? Opponent, you're crazy. Second Fury. Oh, they're going again? Holy crap. I'm just going yield until next end step. I mean, I realistically, I'm not playing anything more. Yeah, I do. Yeah, something I missed on Glimpse of Tomorrow for some reason is that they actually shuffle in their graveyard. Yeah, I'm with you, Mir. I mean, we had to mull to 5 here to a hand that had no interaction and, like, keep on the promise of a turn 4 win. And, like, this was not guaranteed from them from how they played out their turn 3. And they hit it, and that's fine. Like, we were on the draw and just couldn't do it. So, I mean, they hit their slot machine. That's what it does. The machine works. It is the current iteration of Neo Brand or similar. So yeah, Plague Stinger definitely feels like an okay board out here. Well, saying 3K, I think Phyrexian Crusader is very, very good, but right, but it doesn't fold as fast as Neobrand. Like, their fallback plan is not that bad. So this is a hand that does not have a hierarch. It doesn't have a quick infect creature. It does have Thoughtseize and Spell Pierce, which is tempting me to keep it. However, I don't think I can play both those cards and play hierarch because I don't think we have a bridging land, a bridging shock. So I can't get access to double black as well as green and blue. No, but that's the thing, Roy. It's not possible for me to have my colors. It's literally impossible. There isn't a Watery Grave in this deck. So this Crusader or one of these disruptive pieces is uncastable. So I don't... Yeah, I think we have to mull it. 6 is good. 6 is very good. Fetch, Stock, Tomb, play Hierarch. Turn 2, Nexus, Thoughtseize, and then we're looking to draw land, but we're very close to killing already. And then Might goes, because Vines is actually protective. Although, if we do draw the land we're angling for, they should be dead before their third turn if we draw land. Yeah, and we have 2 shots at it. I don't think I need to protect... Yeah, I don't need to protect my Hierarch. Like, I don't think they're going to Fury my Hierarch. And if they do, that probably buys us enough time. Are they taking mulligans? They mulled to 6. Okay, no. Deck list is very, very interesting. Well, it was terrible against Rakdos in the first round, P-Moon. We got eaten alive in about 2 minutes. But we had to mull to 5 in game 1. So, like... I don't think there is an individual, like, matchup table. Okay, they have infinite Cascaders. But I'm pretty sure they're just literally missing a third land. It's a bold play. I think I take the Violent Outburst because leaving that in their hand eventually could lead to me dying, where they might strike out without it. Although it puts it in their graveyard where they can recycle it into the deck. So, like, it literally doesn't matter. The only thing I needed to do there is, like, if they had As Foretold or Warp World, we take that. And then next turn I kill them. They didn't have anything that interacted with me, so let's do it. Now, the text on Might of Old Krosa is, if you play it in your main phase. What was the mono red card? Oh, that was Goblin Dark Dwellers. So boot up that. Make it a 6/4. Make it a 10/8. Attack for 11. Yay! The thing is, Roy, I just thought I think it's a 0% chance that they were going to have any instant speed interaction. Um, because the only things they could have were like Bone Crusher Giant, which I don't think any of those decks play. Brazen Borer, whether they didn't have the color for. Dismember, I haven't. So those decks want to play all permanents to decrease the miss rate on sometimes they have to play a very small first glimpse of tomorrow. Um, so they don't want to play any instants or sorceries. They want to be 100% permanent based if they can be, and so I'm pretty sure that it's safe to just go there. And like once I resolve the scale up, like Stomp can't stop me. No, I agree, Roy. I mean, I get it. I'm just saying, I don't think that there's anything that first there's nothing they were likely to be playing that could stop me at all, and the things they were able to be playing wouldn't stop me in the order that I did that. The only thing that would do it was Dismember, and I just don't think that they would play that. Bone Crusher would be much more likely, and I don't think that they play that card. That would probably be the best choice for them for that position. And they didn't have blue mana to play Brazen Borer, as I said, so no petty theft. They want to play all permanents where possible. They do play Ingot Chewers and Foundation Breakers a lot of the time in their sideboard, but those are not problems in that situation in their sorcery speed. That is a relatively good matchup for any kind of Infect deck, I assume, that's like reasonably well constructed. I don't think it's possible, Mir. It's technically possible, right? No, it's not. No. Mana chokes you. You have quad Mutagenic Growth? No, we don't have Glistener Elf. We are not playing Glistener Elf in this deck. My username is taken as our opponent. This is the best opener we've drawn. By far. I don't know yet, Sang. I don't know. That's part of the reason I'm playing the deck, is I was like, whoa. Like, this list is bananas. Bananas. And I want to see what it's about. Like, does this work? So we're against Luris, of course. Ooh, Merfolk. Probably. So Crusader is suddenly not as exciting here, but I think I play the Crusader because I'm just going to play Inkmoth into Crusader. Hopefully mill. It's true. I don't have any interaction with... we just play Crusader because I think it's just the mana efficient play. Yeah, that's the line I thought, Roy. I just was trying to figure out like what blue deck I was against that was going to be relevant. And then so we want to hold on to our Verdant Catacombs where we can. Yeah, it's mill. We want to hold on to the Verdant Catacombs unless I have to use it, because if they have multi-archive trap, we want to dodge that. If they tap out here, I'm just going to try to kill them. I don't need to draw a protection spell, Roy. I just want them to play a sorcery speed mill or that. It's over. I'm going to kill them now. I'm just going to go for it. I don't think there's any world in which I don't go for it now. They're dead. Mill doesn't play main deck Force of Negations, and if they do, I could still kill them anyway. I don't know. Kill you on turn 3. Smash. Blockers? Any blockers in chat? Nope. Right. No blockers. So, do I want Thoughtseize or Spell Pierce? I feel like it's Spell Pierce and maybe Gem Razors. No, Gem Razors an overstretch. They're gonna board out the orbs. Veil. Yeah, okay. I could be sold on Spell Pierce and Veil. Yeah, yeah. I think I want Spell Pierce, right? I think so. And I think this is a good example of a matchup where, like, we have 8 1-drops that aren't Elf. And I like Elf. Again, I'm not as much of an expert on this archetype as Roy. Thanks for the follow, Pmoon1020. But I think there is some value in all of your Infect creatures having some form of evasion. Yeah. I'm not saying Plague Stinger is good. Yeah. Matter Shaper gets the job done sometimes. Yeah, I mean, I guess we could not cut cards. But the thing is, like, do I need Mutagenic Growths against this deck? Because, like, this is such a bad card here, right? Like, pretty sure that's the way to do this sideboarding. And then you don't like the not cutting idea, right? Because then we dilute our ability to draw threats and hierarchs. Like, we're a high synergy archetype. We really want to draw specific mixtures of cards. You don't get that 1 in 50 games of turn 2 kills. I think the average Infect player is okay with that. Because they know it doesn't happen that often. Like, even if that's the math on it, it still doesn't happen that. Okay, this is a really awkward keep. Like, I want to keep it in the matchup because they do have removal. And so we have infinite threats here. Basically, this is a Multi 6. Like, color-wise, I think this is basically a Multi 6. But, yeah. We just keep the 7 and play conservatively. Just Hierarch into... Okay, that's a beautiful draw. I'm actually going to lead on that now. Because if I find another black source, I might be able to play turn 2 Crusader. They kept Mesmeric Orb. That's gotta be wrong. We lost a Veil. So I'm playing Noble plus Blighted Agent here. Which means I can play Inkmoth to maximize on getting threats into play without Summoning Sickness. They probably have Bridge now, no Luris. I'm okay with that. Scale Up says no, but Hierarchs say yes. So we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, I guess so, Kevin. That's fine. It's not great, but it's fine. Really? Okay. So we're putting them to 2, you say? Okay. Okay. Yeah, it was close, Roy. It was close. So if they are playing Bridge, we want to go all in as quickly as possible. And since my threat is The Nexus? I have 43 cards in my deck. I don't think it's possible for them to mill me out. Well, if they are on bridge, because they don't have Lurrus anymore, Roy. If they're on bridge, can they possibly play bridge and empty their hand? I think it's worth holding up Spell Pierce. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't have ever thought of bridge before Ashes put it in my head. But at this point, they go to 4 cards in hand. They go land down to 3, bridge down to 2, spell down to 1. I don't think they play any free spells that aren't archive traps. Field or the other thing? Oh yeah, yeah. They definitely play like, well, EE on 0 wouldn't stop Inkmoth because it's a land. No, field is a good call though. Field is a good shout out. So if somehow they can play bridge and empty their hand, which I don't think that they can. Oh, surgical extraction would get them there. Push surgical extraction would get them there. Fracture sanity, that's fine. Yeah, okay. Oh, EE on 0 to empty their hand. My bad. Yeah. Fracture Sanity is blue. Each opponent mills 14? Yeah, and then it has a cycling mode. Yeah, it's a very, very, very good new mill spell that somehow has failed to put mill like top of the metagame. I think it's just like every other deck is like as efficient as mill, but like has more removal. It's crazy to see like burn and mill be outclassed in efficiency by like the black-red Lurrus decks and the blue-red Delver decks. Like prowess was on the same level, but like burn looks pathetic now. Like the black-red Lurrus decks get turn 4 kills, and they're not even that, like they're not meant to be that aggressive. They just do it. It's crazy. All right, hand's great. Tasha's Hideous Laughter, yeah, that'll be good. His hand's not perfect, but it's damn good. I want a top deck of land here, but I'm keeping this 7 for sure. There's another Lurrus deck. Jesus. Oh well, at least it's a different Lurrus deck. You all know what time it is.
It's hammer time!
Anyone think Phyrexian Crusader might be good here? Sanity grinding. Well, Tasha's Hideous Laughter is kind of that, right? It's kind of sanity grinding. I used to play Warcraft 3 back in the day. Of course. Who didn't play Warcraft 3? I mean, come on. Kind of lame wad. Uh-oh. Oh, no. So am I supposed to play Plague Stinger to have a flying blocker? Oh boy. Okay, can you just chill the flip out? I think we need to play Plague Stinger. Because I gotta have a flying blocker. No, Hammer Time never died. It just went home. I'm just doing the reference from Men in Black. No, Hammer Time never died. Oh, Infect? Yeah, but nobody plays Phyrexian Crusader. Or, no, not that. Plague Engineer. Nobody plays Plague Engineer in Modern. Yes, they can one-shot us with a flyer. They have a plus 10 equipment, Roy. They literally just put it in their hand. To activate multiple times? They have 1, 2, 3. So if they have 1 more mana, yes. But it's also how do I want to say it? Like things are not looking good. Well, so if I play a flyer, what they're gonna do is put the hammer on something else. But that gives me a potential opening to win. But then they have a flyer to block my guy. The thing is, no one's playing Plague Engineer. Nobody's playing Plague Engineer because you can't in all the black decks are Luris decks. Urza Asmora could, but they don't need to. They have Asmora. Like, they have enough creature removal. In theory. Although I guess they might lose to some Infect hands. Actually, they definitely would. I'm pretty sure I'm just playing Plague Stinger. Like, and just leaving both my creatures back. Yeah. Yeah. I definitely Inkmoth because Inkmoth opens me up to having scale up next turn. Like if they tap down, if I draw scale up, Blossoming Defense, and the Exalted Trigger will kill them. So we're in a position where we can win, and now they have to put the hammer on something that isn't the Inkmoth, unless they like making misplays. Yeah, that's Asmora versus humans. If you have Oval Chase with any reasonable timing, it's a massacre. All right, so they're just opening us up to us getting the win here. Oh, no, they're not. Good play. Got first in a 90-player 1K, and now you're all MTG tired. And big tournaments really drain you of wanting to play Magic. I don't personally find that. I find them invigorating. And excellent record, Dredge. So we're taking 12 here. So they're just not playing the hammer. All right, fine by me, I guess. They have a second Inkmoth. That was a very strange play. All right, fine by me. They have double hammer. Like that's the only thing I can. So now they have to put the hammer on the Thopter. Yeah, Living End is definitely quality deck. I wonder if they'll read the pro red and white. Oh, I probably should have put the Rancor on it, Roy. I just didn't think of it because I have Blossoming Defense in my hand. But yeah, I definitely should have put the Rancor on it. There's like just no way it was correct not to. But now they're opening themselves up to dying here. Because unless they have another blocker. So they finally put their hammer in. So if they had hit me last turn, I would be dead here. And they didn't. They have a second hammer? They do not. Their creature no longer flies, too. Wait a minute, they can't block me. They must not be aware that they can't block me. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I don't have enough mana to send in the Inkmoth, too. Boot up Inkmoth. Because I didn't play the Rancor last turn. I can play the Rancor this turn, hit him for 4, and play the Phyrexian Crusader. Or I could just leave back Inkmoth and Ignoble, which I feel like is pretty good. I think if I'm going to do that, though... Lethal protection for white. Yeah, kind of. I mean, they can hold back the Thopter next turn, but if I hit them for 4 now, then Inkmoth kills them next turn, right? Boot up the Inkmoth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. I have lethal? I don't think I have lethal. I'm fairly confident I don't have lethal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Activate Moth. If I activate Moth, I can't. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold on. Do I? No, then I'm mana short. If I activate the Inkmoth, I have 1 mana left. And I can use Blossoming Defense or Pendelhaven, or I can get the Exalted trigger, but I can't do all of these things. So boot up Inkmoth, Pendelhaven it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, but then I can't play the Blossoming Defense. I don't have lethal here. I'm 1 mana short, or I'm 1 damage short. But I definitely don't want to let them draw a card, because if they get another hammer, they can kill me quite easily. So the biggest problem is that I didn't play the Rancor last turn, but since I didn't do that, let's not throw bad money after bad money. And if they attack with everything, then Hierarch will block the Thopter. If they don't attack with the Thopter and they just attack the other two, we're just not blocking. Because if they have another hammer, it just doesn't matter. Is this them grabbing Luris? It is. Okay. Looks good. So we just take this. And then I kill them on the next one. They have anything that gives stuff trample. Yeah, they have Shadow Spear. But it costs mana. It's over. We got it. Punt didn't cost me. Whoo! It's super over. Yeah. Shadow Spear gives trample. But it costs mana. They couldn't do it. Kill ya? Can you draw a card? Yeah, you can draw a card. No, I'm good. I'd rather keep my Blossoming Defense. I don't know. Kill ya? Carnage! Alright. So Spellskite can't redirect equips. Spell Pierce is pretty good, though. Could have given them an extra card to play the Rancor. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Huh. Yeah, I wasn't even considering that at the time, Kevin. I bet you're right. So that actually could have killed us. Because if they drew a second hammer, we were dead. But they punted that game. That game was punt counter punt because they punted when they didn't put the hammer in the turn earlier. I guess maybe they were playing out around like main board fatal pushes, but I'm not 100% sure on why they would do that. Oh, we have Gem Razor, right? Gem Razor and Trophy. Gem Razor and Trophy are 100% what we're doing here. And I don't think I also want Spell Pierce because I don't think that it's a good idea to board in blue and black cards when your mana is already a little stretched. I almost feel like boarding out Blighted Agent, but I think we just do the usual Mutagenic Growth out. But Plague Stinger is definitely not as good in this matchup. That's no problem, Roy. So we took game one. And I'm considering boarding out Plague Stinger just because it's not a great threat in this matchup. They have a lot of incidental flyers between the 4x Ornithopter and 4x Inkmoths, but is Hammer only for things they control? Well, the more important question is Sigarda's Aid, right? I think Sigarda's Aid can't target opponent stuff. Yeah, no, they can't. No, you can't Skite them. And the only reason I'm not bringing in Spell Pierce is just I don't want to play blue and black sideboard cards. And again, I'm tempted to cut Blighted Agent, but I'm also more tempted to cut Plague Stinger. Yeah, I know Singer sucks here, but like... And they can kill it? They can kill it? What? I mean, yeah. But Stinger saved me that game. We just don't have time. I mean, it is. It's not useless. I just don't want to be top decking. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, I understand. I understand when you said discard, you meant the one discard spell on my sideboard. The life loss might be pretty bad, though. Like, that was a thin margin last game. Definitely going to 6. Definitely going to 5. That's the keep. Crusader. And Nexus. No. So I didn't wait to consider your mulls here, Roy, but I'm gonna guess you're gonna agree with my keeps. My eventual keep. Good draw. I think Thoughtseize is a bad sideboard card here. Dispatch. Okay, so they have no hammer and no aid, but they're gonna try to shitter me out. Sorry, I don't like that terminology, but like, it really does feel like they're just like, they kept like all their little crappy creatures and they're like, this'll do it, right? We're going to work 2 cards at a time. Wow. Boy, are you looking dead, opponent. I need to top deck a green source, but other than that, or golden. Yeah, I mean, it worked, but it's just like, it's just sketchy. Like, if they got an 8 in play on 1 and they had, like, just top deck the hammer, and, like, obviously that's a pretty narrow, lucky turn of events for them, but I guess worst case scenario this turn, I get to play Inkmoth and scale up. Yeah, that's not threatening unless you have an 8 or a Pure Steel Paladin. So we're taking 3 this turn, and then potentially 4, 5 next turn. So we should outrace this. Oh, plating. How much damage is plating? It's enough, isn't it? Oh, but the Inkmoth saves me. The Inkmoth saves us here. Amazing. Amazing. Shit. Yeah, I gotta let them draw. I mean, all their mana's tied up in their best possible play next turn, so... Godspeed. Oh, I would have Roy, but we didn't. So we have Inkmoth to block here against whatever picks up the plating, and that should be GG. Inkmoth, you done me good. You done me good. So 2 cards in hand, 1 is Cranial. They can't sack the canyon. They can't boot up Inkmoth. They just have to play and equip the cranial plating. They could have a dispatch or something like that, and I would die. Yeah, if it was a green source, we would have just died. Or we would have just killed them. But I'll take this. I'll take the almost definite win at this point. If they tap off of white, then they can't have dispatch. Okay. That's fine. Because I know what the last card in your hand is just the plating. That did not increase the amount of damage here. It did increase the amount of cards they draw. But they can't move it around at instant speed. Also, are they swinging in for Xaxes? Are they only swinging in for 7? I think they are. No, it's 8, right? 4, and then 5, 6, 7, 8. They're swinging for 8. But they can't give their creature pro colorless to get past my Inkmoth. Good thing this doesn't become black. What a ridiculous game. It's over. We win. They don't know it, but they're dead. Hey, bring them all. I got you. I got you. Get in front of the bus, Inkmoth. Get in front of the bus. Fun fact, if they hadn't had Pure Steel Paladin or the extra land, we could have blown them out with Vines of Vastwood. Stop them from equipping the cranial plating with their last mana. And then they wouldn't have been able to go for lethal. So there were theoretically multiple ways we could have won that. I'm just going to go scale up with protection. I don't think that there's like any way in the world they're playing like Slaughter Pact, but you know, people do stupid stuff. I don't know, kill you? Does anyone feel like my opponent worked really hard to lose that game and we didn't work that hard at all to win it? I don't know. Doubters. I don't know, doubters. I mean, obviously the black-red deck is... Obviously the black-red deck is really brutal, but everything else has been pretty straightforward. We're against Blitz Len? That's not Blitz Lion, but almost. Yeah, it's alright, keep. On the draw, this is fine. I'd like to peel another land. Oh, we're against the Nonsense again? Or Titan. But those are both good matchups. Yeah, okay. I had a sinking feeling for a half a second. I was like, oh crap, I can't actually play Crusader with this hand, but I don't need to. I have Plague Stinger. They do have blockers for it, but we'll see. Yeah, this is the Nonsense deck. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you, Roy. I think this league has shown me some important information about this deck. So, if I play Plague Stinger this turn and a green source, then I could have... oh, no. Okay. No, I have the lethal next turn. So I can just play Inkmoth into Plague Stinger. And then next turn I have green, but I don't have the extra mana to animate the Inkmoth, so it's not helpful. So we just play the Plague Stinger here. Their flyer is green-blue, so yeah, Phyrexian Crusader couldn't get past it anyway. Oh, shoot! Sorry, I think I was saying I was supposed to play Inkmoth
but you
there.
can't glide.
What's up, KO? We're just slaughtering people with Sultai Infect. It's kind of a good time. We're against the Teamer Nonsense Cascade deck, and as long as they don't put a flyer into play this turn, we win. They're fairly likely to. In fact, they could literally kill us, but if they don't, we're in good shape. Furry. Okay, what's your split? So we definitely don't have lethal anymore. Am I supposed to save both my creatures? I definitely can. If I save both the creatures, next turn I go 2 Infect. Save the Hierarch for sure. Yeah, but I really don't. I should have played the Inkmoth this turn. That would make this a lot easier. They don't have anything that flies yet, no. If Fury's not staying in play, it's dying. This is not a real Fury. Yeah, I think I'm supposed to save both. I mean, the most important thing for me is, like, I feel that this means they're not going to combo this turn. But I could be wrong. Because I feel like if they were going to combo, they would have just tried to flip into a Fury. And then pitch to it if they felt like they needed to. I know you care more about saving the Hierarch. I understand that. This gives me a lot of outs to just win the game, though, right? Any of my +4/+4s or scale up. And then they didn't hit their land that turn. So we just slow roll it here and play Inkmoth, attack for 2, and Crusader. We've drawn a few more lands than I'd prefer, but, like, it's fine. There's no reason not to play this. Unless they're trying to bluff something. I'm not trying to bluff against this deck. They didn't crack a clue. That's... Okay, that... Okay, opponent. Okay. Yeah. So this turn we probably go boot up Inkmoth, swing for 4. They chump block the Crusader, and then they're dead on board. Unless I rip a pump spell. Then we just kill them. And, like, at this point, even if they find their warp world... Okay, well, they're just dead. So this is 1 short. I feel like "they're dead, lol" is the tagline for this league. Oh, they're dead. Whoops. Because, like, that deck exists as a foil for like all the mid-range nonsense that everyone's playing. Does not line up against this deck particularly well. And we're much better able to bring in disruption against them because I feel like most of their sideboard is aimed against, like, artifacts and enchantments. And nobody's packing hate for Infect right now. Thoughtseize was really bad last time, actually. I think I'd prefer Spell Pierce and... Maybe just keep some of the growth for speed. Like, I know it's a bad pump spell, but, like, I just need to get them dead. And can we cast Spell Pierce and still cast Crusaders, though? Yeah. I mean, if we draw Ignoble and or Noble. But I see your point. I mean, maybe it's just like oops all interaction. Because without the Crusaders, this feels a lot more comfortable. Yeah, I mean... But without the hierarchs, this becomes a little more, or no, not a little more. This is a lot more palatable to me without the Crusaders. Sorry. Without the Crusaders, this is a sideboard plan I could do. Whereas with the Crusaders, I'm like, that's insane. And this is the normal number of infect threats, right? 8 creatures and the 4 lands. You're just trimmed down to sort of the best. Like, I think this makes sense. The problem I had with Thoughtseize is the last time we Thoughtseized them, it didn't matter. It literally didn't matter. They had like triple cascade spell. And it was like, what? Like, you can't. This hand is good. This hand is very good. It's a turn 3 kill. It's a turn 3 kill with the turn 3 Thoughtseize. Yeah. This is looking pretty fun. You're looking good, hand. Yeah. You know what like you definitely don't. It's not that you don't want to play Glistener Elf in this meta. I think it's just pointless. Like everyone's gunning for the 1-drops. So the turn 2, I don't think you would ever want to lead on Glistener Elf. Even if you had the perfect hand for it, if you had anything else to play, I think you'd rather play that. And so those slots would be better spent on hierarchs probably. So I think that's like that. I think that is just the philosophy that this deck went for, is like, I would rather have Plague Stinger, which is bad, but has some form of evasion, than play the Glistener Elves, which don't. Which are just going to get brick-walled by every deck in the format. Or even if they're not walled, they're just going to die, right? And at that point, yeah. I mean, I don't know if that's actually like how you're supposed to be playing it, like playing the format, but it's definitely the philosophy, and it seems to work to me. I mean, I would not have thought that I would be going to bat for Plague Stinger over Glistener Elf, but all right. Opponent's all in here. We still have a turn 4 kill here, so with a turn 2 Thoughtseize. They're down to 3 cards in hand, so hopefully that means something. So Inkmoth Thoughtseize, next turn Pendelhaven hit for 2, next turn activate kill. So, oh, okay. They have nothing. They have Tireless Tracker. Okay, you better draw hot, because you are dead in the water, friend. Uh-oh. Oh, that's fine. That's not hot enough. Boop. All right, you got one draw. Better be a good one. Yeah. They got a lot of mana. They can draw 1 card and then cascade. Nope. Okay. That's the newly controlled one. Tap it. +4/+4. Another one. I don't know, kill you? Pew! Smash. Would you like to petty theft? They have a card? Oh, crack. Clue. Do they now have a card? Nope. Would you mirror? Would you mirror? I could be talked into that. That was pretty fun. That's pretty fun. For YouTube, yeah, I mean, what more is there to say about this deck? Oops, all hierarchs is, yeah, pretty good. Obviously the three color nature of it's not great, and there are only 6 blue cards in it, but Blighted Agent is phenomenal. I mean, if you didn't catch that second game against Hammer Time, needs a Become Immense. Yeah, you could run a Become Immense, maybe 2. Um, you don't. Yeah, you fill up your graveyard more than fast enough. It feels like. Yeah, maybe just 1. Roy is the Infect expert, so he would be able to help massage the number there. It's probably better than one of the Mutagenic Growths, or the one Rancor. The trample on Rancor was never relevant in this league. So that's a consideration. But yeah, I mean, Phyrexian Crusader seemed great in a bunch of spots. It was never bad. Gem Razor never got to come in. We didn't play against those matchups. So that was a 4-1. That was a 4-1. The only deck we lost to, we lost in abysmal fashion, which was the Black Red Luris deck. So that was not surprising. But yeah, I mean, I definitely would want some feedback from my boy Roy, but on what we could do with the scale up, or not scale up, become immense. But that definitely seems like a good slot that we could play that in. So we may do that. But for now, and for YouTube viewers in the future, thanks for watching this video. Make sure you hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and you can check out any other videos you're interested in on my YouTube channel, and I will see you there.